I've always believed that marriage was a promise of endless affection, a daily exchange of gentle kisses, warm embraces, and soft touches that told our story of love. My name is Emily, and for over a decade, I have lived a life that, on the surface, seemed picture-perfect. My husband, Jonathan, is a dedicated professional whose career demands long hours and endless commitments. Over time, his constant absence gradually dimmed the vibrant intimacy we once shared. Before we start, thank you for coming to my channel. Your participation is my happiness. Let me know where you are and what time it is now. Okay, now let's get into the story. Every morning as the golden light crept through our bedroom curtains, I awoke to a silence that spoke louder than words. The space beside me, once filled with the comforting warmth of his presence, had become a quiet reminder of the growing distance between us. I busied myself with the small everyday rituals of our home, preparing a cup of tea, tending to our garden, and arranging the familiar spaces. Yet behind each routine moment lingered a deep, unspoken longing. I recalled the early days when Jonathan's gentle kisses would awaken me to a world of passion and possibility, when every embrace was a promise of shared dreams. Those tender moments, rich with whispered secrets and soft caresses, now seemed like echoes from a distant past. As the weeks turned into months, the gap between us widened, leaving my heart to search in the silent spaces of our once shared life for the warmth that was slowly fading away. In the solitude of our elegant yet now quiet home, my mind began to wander. Late at night, as I lay awake listening to the rhythmic hum of the city outside, I would imagine what it might be like to feel that lost passion again. The thrill of a secret rendezvous. The softness of a touch that isn't bound by routine or obligation. I longed for an intimacy that was spontaneous and daring, a connection that could awaken the parts of me that had been silently yearning for more. Unbeknownst to me, fate was already setting the stage for a change. A subtle invitation from the unknown that promised to fill the void with a warmth and intensity one had only dared to dream about. In the quiet of those lonely hours, as my heart whispered its secret desires, I sensed that the path to reclaiming my long-forgotten passion might lie just beyond the familiar boundaries of my everyday life. One rainy afternoon, as I sought refuge from the drizzle in a cozy, dimly lit cafe, fate intervened in the most subtle yet profound way. I settled into a corner table by the window, my mind wandering through memories of long-lost passion and unspoken desires. It was then that I noticed him, a man whose presence seemed to exude both mystery and a gentle assurance. Our eyes met briefly across the room, and in that shared glance, an unspoken understanding sparked. He moved with a quiet grace that contrasted sharply with the relentless pace of my own life, and there was something captivating about the way his gaze lingered, as if he could see the silent yearning within me. Approaching my table with a calm smile, he introduced himself as Michael. His voice was soft yet steady, and as we exchanged polite greetings, an unexpected thrill coursed through me. Over the next few minutes, our conversation blossomed from casual small talk into a dialogue that felt intimately personal. Michael spoke about art, life's hidden poetry, and the bittersweet beauty of fleeting moments. A tapestry of thoughts that resonated deeply with my own unexpressed dreams. As our words intertwined, so did our subtle physical proximity, the brush of his hand against mine as he gestured, the slight tilt of his head as he listened intently, and the warmth radiating from his presence all served as gentle reminders of the passion I had long yearned to feel. In that moment, surrounded by the soft murmur of the cafe and the rhythmic tapping of raindrops on the window, I sensed that the boundaries of my carefully structured life were beginning to blur. There was an undeniable allure in his attention, a promise of a secret world where every glance, every touch, carried the weight of unspoken desires. I felt both vulnerable and electrified, aware that the path before me was as unpredictable as it was irresistible. Without fully realizing it, I had stepped into a realm where the ordinary was slowly giving way to the extraordinary, a place where my heart dared to imagine that perhaps, just maybe, this unexpected encounter might lead to a resurgence of the passion that had been dormant for too long. In the soft-lit ambience of the coffee shop, every clandestine meeting with Michael felt like a rebirth of long-forgotten passion. The low murmur of conversations and the gentle clinking of cups created a cocoon of intimacy, a perfect backdrop for secrets to be shared. One afternoon, as raindrops tapped quietly against the window, our eyes met again, this time with an intensity that spoke louder than any words could. Without a word, we leaned toward each other, His gaze, warm and inviting, conveyed an unspoken promise of what was to come. Our lips met in a tender exploratory kiss, soft at first, like the gentle caress of a breeze, then deepening as if to reclaim a lost part of ourselves. In that kiss, the ordinary world faded away, replaced by a realm where every touch kindled a spark of desire. As our meeting progressed, Michael's hand found its way to my cheek, tracing the contours of my face with a familiarity that belied our brief encounters. His embrace was both protective and electrifying, wrapping me in a warmth that melted the barriers I had long kept intact. Every caress, every subtle press of his hand against my arm, spoke of a longing that had been buried under the weight of routine and neglect. There, in the midst of hushed whispers and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, we discovered a language all our own. Our conversation gave way to silent gestures, a brush of fingers across the table, a lingering gaze that held unspoken confessions. In those moments, the mundane details of life were replaced by the sensory symphony of soft touches and gentle kisses, each one etching a promise of secret indulgence deep within our hearts. By the time we reluctantly parted ways, the coffee shop had transformed from a familiar haven into a sanctuary of our shared desires, a place where, for a fleeting moment, we could reclaim the intimacy that had been absent from our lives. As I stepped back into the chill of the outside world, I carried with me the echo of that hidden passion, knowing that each encounter would only pull me further into a world of bittersweet longing and tender defiance. Thank you for listening to the story so far. Your encouragement means a lot to me. Please comment and share your thoughts here. I love you and I am so grateful to have you on this journey with me to explore the story further. In the days that followed, our clandestine encounters began to venture beyond the familiar haven of the coffee shop. The subtle thrill of our secret meetings blossomed into daring escapades, each one a quiet rebellion against the life I once knew. Michael and I found ourselves drawn to a secluded lounge tucked away in a quiet corner of the city, a space where soft music and dim, ambient lighting set the stage for our shared transgression. Inside that hidden sanctuary, every moment was charged with an intensity that transcended words. Michael's touch, gentle yet insistent, spoke of a passion that had long been suppressed. His fingers traced delicate paths along my skin, evoking sensations that stirred echoes of forgotten dreams. In the intimate embrace of that private space, our kisses deepened, each one a silent declaration of our longing, each tender caress a delicate balance between desire and danger. The air around us felt thick with unspoken promises. Every whispered word and every lingering gaze wove an intricate tapestry of forbidden intimacy. I could feel the pulse of my heart quicken with each subtle brush of his hand, as if daring me to surrender completely to the moment. For a fleeting time, the burdens of my everyday existence melted away, replaced by a heady mix of exhilaration and vulnerability. Yet amidst the euphoria, there lingered an undeniable weight, the awareness of the life I had left behind. Every encounter with Michael was a step into uncharted territory, a journey that blurred the lines between liberation and betrayal. In the sanctuary of that secret lounge, the boundaries of my old life began to fade, leaving me suspended in a realm where every touch was both a balm for my yearning heart and a reminder of the risk I was taking. As we parted that evening, the soft echo of our embrace lingered like a whispered promise in the cool night air. I walked away with my senses alight and my mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions, torn between the warmth of Michael's passion and the unspoken duty that still tethered me to a life I could no longer fully embrace. This forbidden journey, with all its tender, dangerous beauty, had already begun to reshape me in ways I was only beginning to understand. Every encounter with Michael became an exploration of hidden depths within me. Our secret meetings evolved into a delicate dance of seduction, a tapestry woven from soft whispers, tender kisses, and the thrill of every forbidden touch. In the quiet refuge of a private room bathed in gentle ambient light, we surrendered to the magnetic pull between us. His lips met mine with a fervor that was both gentle and insistent, a silent promise to awaken the parts of me long left dormant. As our embrace deepened, Michael's hands began to trace the curves of my body with careful tenderness. Each caress was a quiet exploration, igniting sensations that stirred memories of a passion I once knew. I felt every subtle stroke as if it were rewriting the contours of my longing, a symphony of soft touches that transcended words. In that space, the ordinary world dissolved, leaving behind only the vivid intensity of our shared desire. The air around us vibrated with a mixture of exhilaration and vulnerability. In the soft glow of moonlight filtering through sheer curtains, our whispered confessions mingled with the rustle of fabric and the gentle cadence of our breathing. Every touch was a revelation, a moment where time seemed to pause and the complexities of my life receded into a distant echo. Here, in this secret sanctuary, I found solace in the warmth of Michael's presence, each embrace stirring both delight and a bittersweet twinge of uncertainty. Yet, as the passion surged, so did the quiet reminder of the life I had left behind. With every lingering kiss and every delicate caress, a part of me acknowledged the cost of this illicit indulgence. But in that charged atmosphere, it was impossible to resist the allure of a love that felt as raw and transformative as it was forbidden. In the echo of our shared moments, I discovered not only a rekindled desire, but also the fragile hope of reclaiming a part of myself that had been overshadowed by routine and neglect. The stolen hours in Michael's embrace had always been a sanctuary, a refuge from the monotony and quiet desolation of my daily existence. Yet, after one particularly intense evening, I found myself sitting alone in the dim light of my living room, the echoes of our clandestine passion mingling with an insistent whisper of consequence. That night, the memory of every soft kiss and lingering touch felt as tangible as the cool draft seeping through the window. Michael's gentle caresses, which had once stirred a fierce sense of liberation, now left me with a heavy, unyielding ache. In the quiet solitude, the weight of my choices began to crystallize. I recalled the tender moments of my early marriage, the reassuring warmth of Jonathan's presence, his steady support, and the unspoken promises of a shared life. These memories, once faded by routine, now surged forward, colliding with the fervor of forbidden desire. As I sat there, the juxtaposition of two distinct worlds unraveled within me. On one hand there was Michael, a symbol of wild, unbridled passion, a man whose every touch ignited a spark of life I had thought was lost. On the other, there lay the life I had built with Jonathan, secure, familiar, yet increasingly defined by the quiet void that had crept in over the years. Each secret encounter with Michael, every whispered promise, had peeled away a layer of the safety I once knew, revealing a raw vulnerability that I wasn't sure I could bear. In that fragile moment, the soft glow of the streetlights outside mirrored the conflict inside me, gentle yet unrelenting, illuminating truths I had long tried to hide. I realized that while Michael's love offered an intoxicating escape, it also came at a cost. The passion we shared, intense and transformative as it was, could not completely erase the lingering responsibility and guilt that haunted me. Every tender caress now carried the bittersweet reminder of what I was leaving behind, and of the inevitable reckoning that loomed on the horizon. The tide of my emotions was shifting, pulling me toward a crossroads where the allure of secret bliss would soon have to be balanced against the life I had once taken for granted. In the quiet aftermath of our forbidden love, I began to understand that the time had come for a difficult choice, one that would determine whether the flames of passion could ever harmonize with the demands of truth and responsibility. In the stillness of a chilly twilight, I found myself standing at the crossroads of desire and duty. The whispers of our past secret meetings echoed in my mind as I prepared to face the inevitable truth. That evening, under the soft glow of streetlights, I met Michael one last time in our hidden sanctuary, a secluded corner of the city where, for a few precious moments, time had once bowed to our forbidden passion. Our eyes met with a silent understanding as we drew together in a final embrace. The tender warmth of his touch, once a balm to my yearning heart, now carried the bittersweet weight of farewell. As our lips met in one last gentle kiss, every stolen moment, the quiet intimacy, the soft caresses, the whispered promises, unfurled into a poignant tapestry of memories. In that kiss lay both the fervor of our shared escape, and the solemn acknowledgement that this path could no longer sustain the life I was meant to live. Slowly, with hands reluctantly parting, we let go of the delicate illusion that had sustained us in secrecy. I stepped away with a heavy yet resolute heart, understanding that while our clandestine passion had awakened parts of me long dormant, it could not mend the fractures in the life I had left behind. The echo of Michael's touch would forever remind me of a time when desire burned fiercely in the shadows. Yet now, as the first hints of dawn colored the horizon, I was compelled to return to a truth that beckoned with the promise of healing. In that final solitary moment, I embraced the reality that passion, no matter how intense or liberating, must ultimately yield to the call of integrity and renewal. With the breaking of day, I stepped forward into a future where the lessons of our forbidden love would guide me toward rebuilding a life defined not by escapist thrills, but by honest longing, forgiveness, and the slow, determined mending of a heart once divided. And that's it for today's story. I'd love to hear what you think. Leave a comment below and share your feelings. Did you relate to any of the characters? Or if you were in their shoes, what decisions would you make? I'd love to hear from all of you. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't, hit one. Subscribe so you don't miss out on more great content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.